Hey guys, what's up? GreenMachineSam back with another video, and today we have episode 1 of New England Patriots Rebuild. We're doing the New England Patriots. They started off 1-5. I'm recording this on a Sunday, so they are currently beating the Bills. They actually just beat them, so they do advance to 2-5. One of Bill Belichick's worst starts to a season. The team has not looked good, and they just are not a great team on paper either. So we're going to take a look at the team. Mac Jones is leading this team. Mondre Stevenson is Zeke. Trent Brown, Cole Strange, David Andrews, Michael Wenu, and Riley Reef are your offensive linemen. Hunter Henry, Mike Gesicki round out the tight ends. Juju, Devontae Parker, Kendrick Bourne, Kayshon Boutte, Demario Douglas, and Matthew Slater are your receivers. Zeke, Ty Montgomery, and Stevenson, like I said, your running back. It's just not a great team, I think, that's really built around Mac Jones as well. I don't think they're doing him any favors. His D-line's pretty good with Dietrich Wise, Keon White, Christian Barmore, Devon Godshaw, Lawrence Guy, and Sam Roberts. The cornerback squad is missing a lot of their talent and a lot of their young guys in Christian Gonzalez, Jack Jones, Marcus Jones. They do have Jonathan Jones, Miles Bryant, Sean Wade, J.C. Jackson. They do have Adrian Phillips, Jalen Mills, Kyle Duggar, Jabril Peppers, and Marte Mapu. We are moving Mapu back to middle linebacker. He was there at the start of the season in Madden, so we are going to be moving him back to middle linebacker. Just checking out some of the upgrades that we had for a lot of the players. At the midseason mark, we went 1-6. Not off to a great start in particular. Just not really what we're looking to do. Granted, I know this is going to be a down season. So in this sim, we went 1-6. So it's kind of realistic simming an extra game. Well, losing to the Bills instead of beating them there kind of sucks, but it's understandable. This team's not particularly great. We're going to have to tear it down a little bit just to build it back up. Re-signing some players here. We do have a lot of free agents leaving us. We have both tight ends, our left tackle, a wide receiver. You know, we have a bunch of talent leaving us. But it's all old talent. It's all talent that's not going to develop over the next couple of years. It's going to start regressing or is going to be regressed. You know, we have Matthew Slater here and Mac Jones as well for his fifth-year option if we want to pick up that as well. We're going to be turning off Hunter Henry. We don't need two tight ends in the system. The Lions are going to be trading us Kirby Joseph and a sixth for Hunter Henry. They do have Brian Branch. They do have CGJ. You know, they have a bunch of extra talent. We're going to pick up Kirby Joseph. I know we have some safety talent, but we're going to move some guys around as well. Some more upgrades at the midseason mark. Just a handful of one upgrades for players. Mac Jones, Marpe, White, Behringer, Bryant, Ryland, and others. Bailey Zappi and Sam Roberts also in there. And, of course, at the playoffs, we missed it, going 6-11. A little bit of a bounce back, you know, going 1-6 and then 6-11. You know, winning 5 games, winning 5 games and also losing 5 games in that latter half of the season does show progression at least. Now, of course, we didn't make a whole ton of moves, only moving Hunter Henry. Mondre Stevenson, Christian Barmore, Mac Jones, Mapu, White, and Behringer and Ryland all get 2 upgrades. Jonathan Jones, Owenu, Gesicki, Smith-Schuster, Elliott, Jackson, Parker, Tavai, Uche, Joseph, Strange, Jones, Mills, Jones, Bryant, Wade, Andrews, Boutte, Mafi, Speed, Zappi, and Roberts all get 1 as well. So just a bunch of upgrades for players at the end of the season. Michael Onwenu, I do want to lock up long term here. He is a very good guard. He's going to continue to play for us, especially in Sim. He plays pretty well, if I remember correctly, and he does re-sign on a 4-year deal. Mac Jones, I am not going to pick up his 5th-year option. I just don't think he's a good enough quarterback for us to pick up his 5th-year option. I think he would sign for less if we decide to keep him. Josh Uche, I'm paying for a very long time. Picking up Kyle Duggar's 5th-year option as well. Mac Jones' stats, 3,200 yards, 18 touchdowns, 16 picks, 68 completion percentage, 191 yards a game. That's just not going to cut it. Now, I know the wide receivers aren't particularly great, but still. Mondre Stevenson, over 1,000 yards, 3.7 yards per carry, 11 touchdowns, 640 yards for Smith-Schuster. And we did lose Gesicki, and I was checking these stats after we had lost some people due to free agency and due because I did not resign some people. So some stats will be missing, like Mike Gesicki's stats for receiving. But it's still just piss poor. I can't continue to live with that. And we're going to have to move on from some guys. Marte Mapu got 5 interceptions. Duggar with 2. Jackson with 2. Jones with 2. Another Jones with 1. Peppers with 1. Kirby Joseph. Tackles for losses were good. Sacks were not. I don't know what Madden has done, but sacks have been decreased like crazy in Sim. Mac Jones, we are trading to the Green Bay Packers for Zach Tom. their backup left tackle, a second-round pick, a fourth-round pick, and a fifth-round pick of 2025. The Jordan Love experiment is done. The Mac Jones experiment in New England is done. Zach Tom will come help fill out this offensive line just a little bit. We are bringing some veterans back like Elliott and Bourne. We are bringing Patterson back. Well, Patterson back as well. In as a mentor, we are bringing Taylor Lewan in as well. We're just bringing some veteran guys in, some gap fillers. We did lose out on Gesicki. We tried to re-sign him in the free agency period. He also didn't want to come back. Interest levels have really determined where people are going to sign. Calvin Stevens, a quarterback. We are going to take him at number 8. Good throw power, elite strength, solid speed, good jumping, great change of direction. He looks like a good quarterback, 6'4", 228, 23-year-old out of Baylor. Normal dev trait does suck, but he will be the future of this team. A second, a 4, a 7 of this year, and a third and a 7 of 2026 goes to the Cowboys for their first-round pick right now. And this is why Jeremy Barwin, left tackle, out of Oregon, 21 years old, 309, 6'7", out of, like I said, Oregon. Should come in, fill a hole. Zach Tom will move to right tackle. This guy should be our franchise left tackle as well. Hidden dev trait really helps. 83 strength is nice as well. Ralph Duffy, 6'4", out of, I think it's a Texas A&M. Elite acceleration, elite agility, elite change of direction, great speed, jumping, and strength for an agile guard is great. Hidden dev trait, 6'4", 23 years old, 302 out of Texas A&M. Looks like a beast. Being an agile guy and having that much strength really helps. Roosevelt Lennon, slot receiver, elite acceleration, and a bunch of other good physical traits. Slot guy, 6 foot, 194, 21 years old out of Clemson. Yeah, looks like a beast. We'll start him in the slot immediately, try to get him going and get him developed. The only bad part is normal dev trait. The 2 out of our 4 draft picks have a normal dev trait. Really sucks. This is a new player model that I've been seeing a lot lately. The 6'6" playmakers, 195 pounds, 21 years old out of NC State. Good physical traits, and that's why we took him. Yeah, looks good. Only downside is he does have normal dev trait. This is a new player type that I'm seeing a lot lately in Madden. Jaden Sloan, pass coverage linebacker, 6'2", 235, 23 years old. Looks phenomenal. Iowa speed, 86 speed, 88 acceleration, 82 agility. Hopefully can be a backup to Mapu and to Yawan Bentley and hopefully develop over time. Chauncey Calhoun, another great, physically just awesome receiver. Rounds 3 for 4, 98 speed, 99 acceleration, 97 agility, 96 change of direction, 96 jumping. So even though he's 5'8", he can go up and get balls. He is a physical freak, though. Tyreek Hill. Calvin Stevens was our number 1 overall pick, and the team looks pretty good for what we ended up drafting. We hopefully drafted our franchise QB and our left tackle, 72, 74, 73 for the center, 74 for the wide receiver slot in the 5th round, 72 to the playmaker wide receiver. Linebacker was a little bit lower than I was anticipating, but it was a good draft. There was one other quarterback that went right after us in Bryce Mason for the Vikings. And it's really funny because as this rebuild went on, Bryce Mason had hidden dev trait, which sucked, not taking him instead. But David Andrews, Devontae Parker, and Sidy So going to the Jaguars for 2 3s and 2 5s, one of each from each year. And then Chad Muma and a cap filler. Kendrick Bourne, Jake Andrews, and Antonio Mafi going to the Falcons for a backup quarterback and a bunch of picks. I'm trading these guys off because they were cut candidates, as well as the fact that need to rebuild the draft picks a little bit, and just there's no reason to keep them. I picked up a lot of mentor players to help develop some of the young guys in front of them. The team looks good. We're going to start Lennon, though, just to try to get him developed as much as possible. If we put him at number 1 and in the slot, he should get plenty of yards, plenty of targets, all that fun stuff. Team looks good, though. Heading in the right direction. I don't expect us to be competitive in year 2, but nonetheless, it does look like a good team. And like I was saying, the more this rebuild went on, the more you're going to see similarities in how the Vikings built their team to how I built my team in my Vikings rebuild. It's really funny. You'll see what I'm talking about later in the season. The defense looks solid. It does. It looks young. It looks athletic. It looks like it can continue to develop. Jabril Peppers will be starting at corner for us alongside Christian Gonzalez. as well as Marcus Jones, Jack Jones, and J.C. Jackson. Jabril Peppers will also be backup safety as well. We're going to start Kirby Joseph. We're going to start Kyle Duggar. Team looks solid enough. It's nothing impressive, right? But it's year 2. All I'm hoping for is just development. Development is one thing you're going to hear from me a lot in these rebuilds, especially within the first 3 years, as we do have some more upgrades to take care of. Like I said, I don't show upgrades because you guys don't want to watch that. It's just me showing you, hey, these guys did have upgrades. And anytime you guys don't see upgrades is mainly because I'm upgrading them through the season to try to get wins. Josh Uche did get superstar development. He had a challenge. He ended up getting it, and we did get superstar upgrade for him, which is really nice. But he does need to develop more and continue to develop as well. He is on his second contract, so he's a little bit older. I think 25 or 26 at the time of his contract. And at the midseason mark, we went 1-6, just not very good. And I was expecting that. We are losing some pretty good talent here from the team. Jonathan Jones, Jelani Tavai, Matt Judon, Zeke, Jabril Peppers, Kyle Duggar, Christian Barmore, and then a lot of the guys we brought in. Now, most of those guys are going to be on one-year deals anyway because I just don't want, a ton of money being invested into them long-term. Zeke also, Jonathan Jones, like I said, Ramondre Stevenson. A lot of these guys could walk if we really wanted to, but we're going to keep a good portion of them. Matthew Judon, Jelani Tavai, and Jonathan Jones all being traded to the Bears for Cole Kmet, a 3rd-round pick, and a 6th-round pick. Hopefully this will spark our offense just a little bit more. I know the Patriots are very tight-end friendly system, so Cole Kmet will come in, and hopefully we can, get something going with him. So with some important guys leaving us due to free agency, Kyle Duggar, we're going to be re-signing to a 2-year, $5.5 salary, $5 million sign-on bonus. He does accept. I don't show anybody that doesn't want to accept. It's just no point, But J.C. Jackson, Devon Godshaw, a 2nd and a 4th, also getting traded off to the Vikings in return. Like I said, for a 2nd and 4th, it's good value. They're going to get a key couple positions that they need help in right now. Looking at the team after the trades, the team looks solid. It does. Cole Kmet coming in, taking over for Jonnu Smith and Adam Troutman should help out a little bit as well in the receiving game. I think it's just too late in the season to do anything spectacular. Marte Mapu does have superstar as well. Josh Uche. Mapu, I think, got it in last year's offseason, so that does help out a lot. And just with, everything that's going on with this team, both in real life and in this franchise, it makes sense to move off some of these veterans, right? I don't think we're trending towards a Super Bowl with those veterans. I think by the time we get to those Super Bowl windows, those guys will be regressed beyond where we want them. Christian Barmore does resign as well. Jabril Peppers does resign as well. Like I said, some of these guys you do need to keep around. Some of these guys, I don't want to hear it about, you need to keep this guy around for as long as you possibly can. There are certain guys I'm willing to keep around, right? And I want to keep as many of them around as possible because it does create good storylines. It does create good content as well. Ramondre Stevenson here, 3 years, $7 million a year. Just don't get me wrong. I want to create good storylines. I want to create something interesting. Because I think everybody can go out and sign the best free agents and then draft the best players and trade for the most cheesy guys because they're 3rd on the depth chart in a system that, because Madden's stupid, At the end of the season, though, we did go 3-14, so not really improving. It was a teardown year. It was. Last year was a let's see where we're at year. This year's a teardown year, and the next year should be, heading in the correct direction. Do have some more upgrades for some players: Jabril Peppers, Michael Winnow, Kirby Joseph, Jeremy Barwin, and others. Calvin Stevens, though, 3,200 yards, 13 picks, 7 touchdowns, 62 completion percentage. A little bit better than Mac Jones, in my opinion. Less touchdowns and less picks, but less touchdowns in general as well. Rushing played pretty well. Ramondre Stevenson, 1,157 yards, 11 touchdowns. Passing was where it's still struggling currently at the moment, just not doing very hot there. Bronson, the 6'6" playmaker, played a lot, as well as Cole Kmet and Roosevelt Lennon. It's just not there. Marte Mapu, 133 tackles. Blocking was blocking, Jabril Peppers, 111 tackles. Just the defense didn't play particularly great either. Apparently the rushing unit was very, very bad, and sacks here still bad. I understand I don't have a whole ton of talent, there, but, I feel like some players will get more than this, I don't know. That's my opinion. Nobody that I remember was in the MVP conversation. AFC Offensive Player of the Year, nobody there as well. Defensive Player of the Year is nobody that we have. Stevens and Lennon are both 1 and 2 as Rookie of the Years for us. Bronson is at number 5, as well as Chancey Calhoun is at 8, which is good to see. None of our defensive rookies, I don't even know if we had any defensive rookies that would have been playing, won anything. Seattle Seahawks did take down the Jacksonville Jaguars. Kentrell Way was actually the first quarterback taken off the board for the rookie class, so you can see he's playing well. Bryce Mason, the quarterback that was taken after us, won Austin's Rookie of the Year. So both the quarterbacks that went right around where we took ours and played really good this season kind of sucks. Cole Strange, for now, I'm going to pick up his 5th-year option. He's going to be 29 by the time his 5th-year option comes up. Just putting that out there. This dude is old as fuck. Dietrich-wise, we're going to bring back. He's been a good pass rusher for us, at least in terms of overall. Of course, he hasn't put it together in the stat sheet, but we're going to bring him back for 1 year. But here's what I'm saying. Free agency interest, I don't even have it on high or low. I have it on normal, and you just cannot sign anybody that does not want to be here. Nick Chubb, I offered the bag to. Greg Newsome, I offered the bag to. I offered heavy contracts, and just none of them wanted to sign with me, which really sucks. Patrick Ricard, Evan McPherson, Michael Pierce, Shaq Barrett, and other mentors. David Andrews is going to be coming back. Antonio Gibson, Tutu Atwell, Kyron Williams, Adam Trotman, Kyle Fuller, Noah Iyowenbene, Adrian Phillips, Zach Ertz, Robert Quinn, and others are going to be coming in as they have the mentor tag, which will help us develop just some of these guys that we're bringing in, rookies, young guys, stuff like that. Nobody really to note besides Evan McPherson getting a long-term contract. David Andrews, I did give 2 years on. Even if he regresses, he won't regress past the 70 in 2 years, so we should be able to keep him for a while. We are picking at pick number 2. The Giants took Stephen Parrish out of East Carolina, left end, but we are going to be trading back a little bit. We're going to be trading back with the Titans, so they're getting a first, second of this year, a second of next year, and a third of 2027. And I'm getting a first, a second of this year, a first of next year, and a first of 2027. So I am giving up some value while also trading Chad Muma off to them. Like I said, getting value for more value. Junior Hightower, though, best pass rusher, in my opinion, in this draft. He looks solid. His key ratings aren't particularly great, but he's a physical freak. 85 speed, 80 strength, 84 jumping, 84 agility, and 90 acceleration. 6'3", speed rusher. Speed rushers dominate in this game, if you didn't know. So, is it speed rushers or was it power? No. Power rushers are edges, speed rushers are interior. Darryl Grant here, run stopper, but he does have pretty good power rush as well. He looks dominant as well, picking up him here. Just another good guy. Brenton Stecker, pick 4 in either the second or third round. Good corner, physical freak, great speed, elite acceleration, great agility. He's 6'1", zone coverage. Yeah, physical freak. Normal dev trait, though, does suck and will continue to hinder us. So, yeah, Brenton Stecker. Rashawn Clements, 6 foot, deep threat. Fucking phenomenal physical traits. Wide receivers, I like taking physical trait guys. They just play out so much better. 95 speed, 91 jumping, 90 acceleration, 94 agility, 96 acceleration. As a deep threat, 6 foot, 187 out of Wisconsin, 22 years old, hidden dev trait. He should start or at least be a quality backup for us. Jamie Atkinson, a running back, elusive, 5'10", 226, 22 years old out of Bama. We have a lot of top end picks here. We're going to take a running back here. He also, physical freak. I will say there is some cheesy stuff that you can look for, both in running backs and wide receivers, as well as some other positions, that you can easily find some quality guys. Ricardo Teague here, he was expected a day 3 guy. He was around 3 or 4 talent. We're taking him. 82 speed, 91 acceleration, 80 agility. Looks like a good run stopper, 243. So he's kind of in that tweener role where he's a little bit big to be a stand-up backer, but not big enough to be an edge. Glenn Hartman, another guy, physical freak, deep threat, 5'11", 191, 22 years old out of California. 98 speed, 98 across the fucking board for him for the most part. Of course, strength. He's not going to be strong. He's a wide receiver. And then we're trading the rest of the picks off. I had one or two guys, but with me drafting the wide receivers and them turning out to have dev traits, there's no point in me taking even more wide receivers. And then I had a punter and a kicker, which, whatever, you can take them if you want to, but our punter and kicker are just doing just fine. Okay, so I guess I did have one more pick. I probably should have moved this up. Brendan Hampton, though, 6'6" playmaker. I'm telling you, these playmaker types are weirdly good. They're 6'6", or they're like 6'5" to 6'6". They're playmakers. They're from like 185 pounds to 205 pounds, and they are normally like fine, and they're physical freaks. Very good draft class here. So yeah, Stecker we took in the second round, as well as Clements, and then we took Atkinson as a third. Atkinson was actually scheduled to be pretty high, if I remember correctly, and he just was an awesome fucking player for us. But overall, good draft class. Nothing going, wrong there. Stephen Parrish and Clay Norman were actually better, but I didn't really scout ends too heavily. When I'm looking for edge rushers, especially in 3-4s, you got to look more outside backers. If you draft an end and move them up, they might decrease in value. So there's just a lot of things that could go wrong with that. Trading off Juju in a third of 2028 for a first from the Falcons of 2027. And then we also have to take some cap fillers on. So that kind of sucks, but those guys can be released right away. Juju, we're going to trade off. This was one of the better spots that he could go to where he would still be playing. Juwan Bentley, Tutu Atwell, and Tyquan Thornton going to the Colts for cap fillers in a second. Tutu Atwell, I thought I was going to have plans for him. I don't with all the recently added draft capital, all the recently drafted wide receivers. And I am moving Jabril Peppers down to linebacker. So, there's that. We're going to generate the best lineup for now. I'll go in and fix some stuff if I need to. Duffy going to be starting as well. Yeah, just a lot of good young talent. And in year 3, all I'm expecting them to do is just develop. Just develop the correct way, and we'll have an easy enough time. Going to start Atkinson, going to start some other guys. Lennon, Hartman, and Clements are going to be our starting receivers. Like I said, we moved Jabril Peppers down to linebacker. I think this defensive line is good enough to, hide some of the weaknesses of our linebackers. But it was mainly just because Peppers wasn't getting enough playtime, and then with Stecker coming in, Marcus Jones still being there, Jack Jones still being there. Some upgrades here for some players after training camp boosts, as well as preseason simming, the weekly strategies as well. Lots of upgrades. That's what I like to see. So, yeah, we're trading off Jack Jones now. Josh Uche and Jack Jones, a second, a third, and a sixth, and a fifth of 2026 for a 2026 first-round pick, as well as a fourth-string corner on the Packers. Quinn Meadows, he is a second-year guy. So they get a corner in return to take over for that fourth spot, and then they get their right outside linebacker that they need. Uche just wasn't going to play enough for me to actively keep him around. I know I shouldn't trade him off with that big of a contract, but the Packers are getting him for a relatively cheap deal, and I have to take on the penalty. At the midseason mark, we are 4-3, so turning around in the right direction is great for us. 4-3, a good start, not great in a physical division though. It is a good start. It's a quality start. 4-3 for this team is better than what I expected. Bunch of upgrades here at the midseason mark as well. Just players developing and playing correctly is nice. When those guys play good, they're going to get upgrades. Rashawn Clements, though, this is something that we're going to have to discuss, is an X fucking factor. Rashawn Clements, X factor, deep threat. He could be Randy Moss 2.0. Just kidding. He's not tall enough. Kirby Joseph is coming off contract, as well as others. Marcus Jones, Zach Tom, Michael Pierce, and a bunch of veterans. I'm going to try to bring as many of those guys back, especially Kirby Joseph and Zach Tom. Zach Tom is cheap enough that I can bring him back for relatively cheap. He wants to be here, and he's going to stay. 4 years, $8 million a year. He stays. Good start. Week 11, I did want to show this, just being like, hey, we're 4-5. We're not going in the correct direction. I'm going to be upgrading players each week, which is something I started doing. Kirby Joseph, in the meantime, I did end up re-signing for 7 years, $7 million a year. Very cheap for an 82 overall 24-year-old safety. He would be here till he's 31. He wouldn't be, regressing anytime soon. Marcus Jones as well. I love him. He's one guy that I love picking up in my franchise modes. He always gets pushed down to like the third or fourth corner on Patriots, which makes him easy to trade for. We do re-sign him here as well. and he's a great return specialist. He's a great player. Good little slot corner, 5'8", can move into safety. He plays well. But at the playoffs, we ended up going 5-12. So the Dolphins or the Jets, who were like 1-5 or 2-5 or some shit like that at the midseason mark, turned it around, and we only won one more game. One more game all season is all we won. We lost out. I don't know how, but this team fucking lost track of what we were doing, apparently. Yeah, defensive rush yards, we were 32nd in the league, and offensive rush yards, we were 30th. I don't know how that happens in an instant change, but 3,900 yards, 24 touchdowns for our quarterback. Rushing just wasn't there. Atkinson played well, but not well enough. Lennon, 1,100 yards, 11 touchdowns in the air. Clements, 1,000 yards, 80 catches, 3 touchdowns. Komet, 60 catches, 680 yards, 6 touchdowns. Hartman, 48 catches, 613 yards, 3 touchdowns. Yeah, I don't know what to say about this defense. Now, I know the defensive line isn't particularly strong, but the fact that we're giving up that much on the ground is kind of concerning. Yeah, we just didn't play well, and we're going to have to retool for next year. I was really hoping to at least go 8-9, 7-10 at least, show some type of progression. Instead, we went fucking 4-13. That's insane, especially starting off 4-3. Yeah. Interceptions we got plenty of all over the field. Sacks and tackles for loss just weren't there as well. Brill Peppers was 8th in Defensive Player of the Year. Atkinson and Clement both won. Were top 2 in Offensive Rookie of the Year. I'm kind of glad Clement didn't win Rookie of the Year because Atkinson, we did need him to develop more than Clement, especially with Clement being, X Factor. Grant and Hightower at 1-4 for our defense players. Stecker in there as well. Cowboys beat the Bengals for their 6th Super Bowl. Dak Prescott wins Super Bowl MVP. Josh Allen, Arthur Smith, Coach of the Year and MVP. CeeDee Lamb, Chris Jones, Atkinson, and Glenn win Player of the Year. Deatrick Wise is going to bring back for another year. I know he hasn't played particularly great. I know we should probably get rid of him, but whatever. Going to pick up Christian Gonzalez's 5th year as well. Trading off Cole Strange, Laken Tomlinson, and a tight end, a 1st, a 2nd, and a 3rd for T. Higgins. We're going to go out, get our 3rd receiver. This will help a lot. There is no reason not to. Cole Strange, like I said, give me 29 when he comes off his 5th year. Laken Tomlinson was a veteran, and McCown was just a practice squad player that got signed. We are picking up David Bakhtiari, DeAndre Hopkins, Harold Landry, Sky Moore, and David Onyemata. We are moving David Bakhtiari into guard. He's 34, I think. So it just makes sense to move an aging veteran tackle that has dealt with injuries into guard. Same thing happened with Jason Peters. He played well. And we're going to do the same thing with David Bakhtiari. And here's the thing. It's not that I wasn't looking for a guard. I tried for Tyler Smith, and I was hoping Joel Bitonio didn't get signed in week 1. I gave Tyler Smith almost 3 times the money for him to come in and play guard for 7 years, and he still declined. So, I don't know what to do. We brought in David Bakhtiari, though. He's going to play guard for us. A 1st round of 2026, a 4th of 2026, a 4th of 2027, and a 6th of 2026 goes and gets me a 1st from the Giants. I'm going to take Zach Bradley here. Our defensive line struggled last year, so we're going to go out and try to fix it. Zach Bradley, speed rusher out of Oklahoma State. 88 strength, 74 speed, 79 jumping, 78 acceleration, and 88 acceleration. Moses Harris, we're going to round out this cornerback squad. We're going to go out and get another physical freak. Just another good athletic guy. 95 speed, 93 acceleration, 92 agility, 93 change of direction, 84 jumping, normal depth trait, 5'11", 180 out of Florida State, 23 years old. He'll come in and fit nice. Justin Burney, another running back, power back, 228, 6'1", out of Minnesota. We're going to take him. We need another running back. Hopefully he can develop into something nicely. Hidden depth trait, 90 speed, 95 acceleration, 93 agility, 80 change of direction, 80 jumping, and 88 strength. Next, trading Bronson, a 3rd and a 4th of 2026 and a 2027 1st for a very early 2nd. It's basically like pick 33 or 34 from the Browns. We're taking our guard here, Ladarius Sutherland. We're going to bring him in. He's going to sit behind Bakhtiari for a year. A awareness, A impact block, A pass block, D run block, but he's a pass protector. It's going to be lower. 84 strength, 72 jumping, 80 acceleration, hidden depth trait. Looks like a beast. He'll come in, fit next to Barwin. He'll develop for a year, and then we can let him play. Didn't take anybody too late here, but we did take a bunch of people early. Zach Bradley, Harris and Bernie all in the first, and then Sutherland in the second. All very, very good picks. I've given up on trying to get low-end guys and hoping that they can develop. We got to go out and get guys that are pro-ready, that can play right away, that can be backups, that can be quality backups, that can just play if we need them to, if I decide to get rid of somebody. If you guys enjoyed this video or any of the videos like this here on my channel, I'd appreciate it if you guys stick around and subscribe. This is part 1 of New England Patriots rebuild. We have the rest of the rebuild coming out hopefully tomorrow. Like I said, if you guys enjoyed this video or any of the videos like this, please stick around and subscribe. I'll be back with more videos like this. But with that being said, guys, I'm out. Peace.